Showbiz University, empowering nation through education.
Good afternoon, one and all. On behalf of Showbiz University, I, Dr. Manisha Rastogi, is excited to welcome you all once again during our another live session, interactive session with an industry expert. Today we will be enlightened over the topic entrepreneurship and career development path in preclinical pharma industry by an industry expert. Showbiz University is a NAC-A accredited deemed to be university under Section 3 of University Grants Commission Act 1956. The university was established with a mission of empowering nation through quality education. University offers a wide array of UG and PG and research programs in several disciplines of science, engineering, management, law, and education. Shobit University conducts different industry academia focused webinars with the aim to support a large number of students to transition them from education to the corporate world. Following the legacy, this interactive session will reveal the important employability elements that is required to secure a job in leading preclinical pharma industry through an industry expert. Preclinical pharmacology and toxicology are essential elements of the drug discovery and development process. The sector offers a wealth of job and career opportunities for skilled young biomedical graduates with BTech, MTech, MSc, and PhD degrees. Today, I am glad and extremely delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Milind Sagar, research scientist, Syngene International Limited, Bengaluru, India. He is having approximately 12 years of research experience in the field of in vivo oncology with various R&D and CRO based Indian and MNC pharmaceutical companies. He has published research articles in peer reviewed international journals like Cancer Research, Journal of Immunotherapy of Cancer, Journal of Medicinal Chemistry, Molecular Carcinogenesis, AACR, and the similar ones. Previously, he was associated with Biofusion Therapeutics, which is a Biocon company venture, as senior research scientist. He has also worked as research associate Sai Life Sciences based in Pune. He has also worked as research scientist in Dabur Research Foundation and Sphera Pharma as a capacity of research biologist. He is having expertise in preclinical oncology mice models such as syngeneic, xenograft, metastasis mouse models, and patient derived xenograft of various cancer cell lines for the screening of novel potent anti cancer molecules. His education background comes as an MTech. He has earned his MTech biotechnology from Amity University and he has done BE from AIT Bangalore. He was awarded first class with distinctions in graduations, post graduations. He has also worked as project trainee in pioneer research institutes like IISC Bangalore, National Chemical Laboratory Pune. As a person, he is a humble, gentle, and a pleasing personality with a very kind heart and always ready to lend a helping hand. He is someone who is always full of life and cherish every moment that comes his way. We are again glad and very, very pleased to have you here, Mr. Milind, with us. And I again welcome you on this platform on behalf of Shobit University and the Department of Biomedical Engineering. Let's begin the session, Mr. Milind.
Yeah, thank you
So,
very much, Dr. Manisha ma'am, and I'm really thankful for considering me for this interactive session. And it will be my pleasure if I can give some enlightenment on drug discovery and to our students who is waiting to come to the industry. So, and hello to everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Milind. So, first we want to know that how you managed to be here. How did you get where you are today?
Yeah, so actually, there could be many answers for this question if you ask me. So the truth is something else, but I can give this question in two sets of answers I can give. So first one is uh, everybody when they study 10th and when people go to 12th, they will be having some dreams, and then as per our capacity, our skill set, and our knowledge, we try to achieve something, and then we plan, we set a goal. So even for me, the goal was something else. I wanted to become a doctor, and I was I was studying hard for getting into entrance. So as you know, like in India, it is very tough to get into uh, mm, uh, MBBS and all. So then I was having, I was very keen, and I was very much fond of biology. So biology was my favorite subject since starting. So I was having two options after medical. I can go into pharma industry, or I can go into again paramedical kind of things. So then again, after a lot of investigation and then research, I came to know there is a branch called biotechnology that is booming when I was into academics. So then I have selected that biotech as a career, and then I cleared my all India IIEEE, and then through that I came into AIT. I have done my BE biotechnology, and then after BE biotechnology, I joined I gave some interviews, encompassing interviews in IT sector, because as you know, IT sectors are booming, and they always conduct encompassing interviews, and they allow each and everyone to come into that, and then all streams are eligible for participating into those interviews. So even I have given some interviews, but finally I decided that since I have done some basic studies in biotechnology, so it is always good to come into the same field where I have some knowledge, rather than going into a IT sector where I don't have any knowledge. So that will be really tough for me. So like that, I thought BE biotechnology may not be sufficient education to come into pharma or to come into biotech. So let's go for some higher education. So by that, I was looking for some master's course, and then I cleared MTech biotechnology in Amity, and then I joined there. During my MTech again, I was in dilemma whether I should go for some more higher education, or I should come into industry. So that was again a kind of I was not clear on that point whether what could be the good decision. So again, when I was doing my MTech biotechnology, I got chance to work with two big CSIR labs. One is IIC Bangalore, and second one is NCL Pune. So when I was doing my internship or my dissertation, you can say in MTech, we were having some 3 months to 4 months dissertation. So I was into that dissertation. That time I interacted with many of the PhD scholars in NCL Pune, and after seeing their experience, and after knowing that okay, it takes a lot of time in India if I go into Indian academics, where if I want to do PhD, so that could take almost 5 to 6 years of my life. So again, I was not ready to sacrifice that life, and then I thought, okay, let's try outside. So because of some personal reasons and family reasons, I couldn't go outside for my higher education PhD. And during that period only, I got some opportunity. I was having some research experience during my academics on nanotechnology side. So that exposure helped me coming into this industry, if you ask me. So like I was working on some nanoparticles, and that exposure was really good for me when I was in NCL. Then slowly from NCL, there was one event, drug discovery event was happening in Delhi. So I was also participant of that event. There I met some industrialists, and then I interacted with them, and slowly I inculcated in myself that okay, actually this is the good opportunity. If you go for any kind of conferences or any kind of trainings and all, that is a very nice place where we can interact with many industrialists. And like that I developed some connections, and then I sent some mails to them, and I requested for some kind of industrial training. So like that I came to Davar, and then Davar was my first company where I have done my final year internship. And then like that my career started into pharma. So slowly from biotech I shifted towards pharma. And so that was my initial decision, and then slowly I moved to many companies, and now I'm in Syngene. So this was my journey altogether. If you see, so like if if I see my end point now, it is quite satisfactory. But if I go back and then I think about my initial decisions, so they're like as I mentioned, like since this session is for academic people and then for students, so they would be in this phase now, like they would be thinking like how to do and what to do. But I would say like rather than having multiple options in mind, we should focus on one thing, and then we should try on that direction. That really helps. So this is all about my journey to Sinjin from my academics.
That's amazing, Mr. Milind. Actually, this very, very honest answer that you have given, including the losses or the misses that you had in your career, which eventually every student has to go through. Somewhere the student may come across with success, somewhere as a failure, but then to like detect the to accept the failure and again move ahead. And I must say that the sessions that we are conducting today, it is definitely going to help a lot to students who don't actually know that after doing the course where they are actually going to land up. So that is why Shobit University always focused on such interactions with the industry expert, so that they can make up their mind during their studies and they will become way ahead, so that they don't have to accidentally land over something. So this is the art and the beauty, and we are again thankful that you have accepted this invitation, and you will be guiding our students that how they should make up their path in the preclinical pharma industry after doing their biomedical BSc, MSc, BTechs, MTechs, or even PhD degrees. Thanks, Mr. Millen. So, to continue the session, I would like to know first of all, what are the specializations of your organization, that is Syngene International Limited? What kind of work the company do?
Yeah. So Syngene, as we all know, like Syngene International Limited is a CRO. CRO means Contract Research Organization. So where we have many disciplines, many departments, and Syngene mostly works for other companies. We are a service provider, being a CRO. We don't have our own uh, drug, you can say, like to launch into the market. But what we do, we support other pharma companies, big pharma companies who doesn't have their own lab setups, and who can't run everything together to drive a molecule from initial stage, from drug identification, target identification, to manufacturing, and then launching to commercial manufacturing, and then launching into the market. So that is really tough for any one company. So for that, many plans are there. Like one will be R&D, where companies will be having their own molecule. They work on that, and they do do research, and then they finally launch their compound. And then other pharma partners will be CRO, where context research organization, they will be working for other big pharma companies to develop their molecule based on their demand requirements and demands. We give our R&D services, and then we try to help them in launching their compound. So coming to Syngene again, we have many disciplines, like we have discovery, we have development, we have manufacturing. In discovery again, we have chemistry wing, we have biology. In biology, we have discovery biology, then we have safety assessments, we have computational and data sciences. So we are initial research, like in silico designing, and other steps can be done. And then after computational, and then after data science, it comes to bioinformatics. And after bioinformatics, drug, when it moves to the next phase, it goes to either it comes to discovery biology, where preclinical, clinical, preclinical means in vitro and in vivo testing will be done. Post those testings, again safety assessment comes, where toxicology department is there. So they are testing of drugs, whether that drug is safe to go for further research or not. That kind of experiment they perform in safety assessments. Then after all those discovery phases, compound goes to development phase, where chemical scaling up will be there. So whatever drug we have, small quantity manufacturing is very easy. When you go for scaling up, that is really a completely different domain, and that takes a lot of time. So again, scaling up, formulation development will be there, where drug formulation they check, and they do research on multiple types of formulations to get a suitable and miscible formulation. When it goes to clinics, it should not be that drug should be a druggable, mm, uh, like it should be druggable, it should be injectable, or it should be oral administrable. So for that, again, formulation development team is there, department there, work on that. Then analytical team is there, they support in analytical parts of drug testing. Then after this development, it goes to clinical, where clinical development phases, like phase 1, 2, 3, 4 clinical trials phases, we know. So all those supports also they give in development phase. Then manufacturing, commercial manufacturing also Syngene takes care. So altogether, if you see, so from end to end service provider, Syngene is a end to end service provider, where we give services from starting to end to the company based on their requirement and demands. So Syngene is a kind of company where we can see from end to end services for from drug discovery to development up to the market clinical trials. So I hope I answered your question, madam.
You have
Um,
not even answered the question. You have also given us the scope that the pharmaceutical industry is not just about experimentation. It has a long journey to cover, and therefore, each journey and each milestone is having lots and lots of opportunities. And for that, of course, specializations are required. So, Mr. Milind, what do you think that how big is the pharma market? We all know that after COVID-19, pharma market is like having immense opportunities, but still. Do you think that this market is going to expand, or how big is the market? This is the question. My question with you.
Yeah, so this is a very good question, madam. So if you see, not after COVID, if you see before also, so IT sector is one sector where people always talk about boom, and always talk about recessions. So those two phases we talk in IT. But I don't think any time in pharma I would have seen, like, okay, there is a recession or there is a boom. It is a kind of constant upgrowing industry, where always demand will be there. And it's not like patients will be there all the time. And when patients are there, demand of drug will be there. And if there is a demand of drug, certainly pharma companies needs to be there to supply the requirement, patient's requirement. So if you talk in that way, then I think it is a kind of always upgrowing industry. And if you talk about like how big this pharma market is, so if you roughly see, then by this 2023, it is a kind of like 1.5 trillion US dollar industry already is there. And I was reading some report few months back. So like it is growing very fast, and then expectation is like it will go up to 130 billion in coming another by 2030. So it is always a growing market, and then very big pharma in players are there into this, like Eli Lilly, Merck, Rose, Pfizer, and Jensen and Janssen. So these are the big companies. In India, if you see, we have again Lupin, Dr. Reddy's, so Biocon. So these are the pharma companies where they are always growing. Since I'm in a Biocon, I can see, like if you compare from last 7 to 8 years back to now, so I can say like Biocon has grown like anything. Like in our campus only, we can see the employment rate every year 20 to 30% it is increasing. So it is a upgrowing market, and then certainly there will be always a good scope in this industry.
Okay, so we must say that again, pharmaceutical industry is one of the stabilized industry where we can see we can expect less recessions and
Yeah,
job loss, which is still a fearing factor in case of the IT industry. So this is one good news for all of the biomedical graduates that if they opt for the preclinical or of course complete pharma industry, then getting skilled and getting employed, then they are into the going to be in the stabilized sector.
yeah.
So
And
already.
I missed one point actually. If you see India position in the pharma market, in global
Mhm.
pharma market. So recently it was very much exposed during COVID. So COVID was the time where like whole world was struggling to get support, pharma support, and big like all completely developed countries were also struggling to get the healthcare support. But in that case, if you compare globally, if you compare India with US or European health sector, so we fought with COVID very nicely, and we were the only country who was supplying drugs outside India. So, like if you see, we have grown up during COVID. Also, we have grown up like anything, and we have proved to to the world that okay, we can be a leading country who can support in healthcare sector. So again, like scope will be always good in pharma. If you can see Indian, this one also, it is always upgrowing. Yeah.
In terms of Indian perspectives, this
Yeah.
industry is going to give good job opportunities to the young aspirants who are, of course, skilled. So, Mr. Milind, while you have already given us the glimpse of drug discovery, and I would like to invite you for a detailed lecture about the actual drug discovery apart from the books that students are reading, the what kind of if what major sectors are there where the biomedical graduates, BTech, MTech, MSc, PhD from the biomedical background can find themselves fit. Because majorly, if we go with the pharmaceutical industry, the first share goes to the people from the pharmacy background, and we can see that you are a BTech, MTech, and having a successful career of 12 years. So biomedical, because everything with this national education policy also, everything is ultimately going in as a multidisciplinary nature. So in that way, biomedical BSc, MSc, and BTech, MTech, and PhD students or graduates, in what specific sections they can find themselves more fit?
Yeah. So actually, this is a very big question. We can talk hours on this. So, but still, I'll try to summarize things based on my knowledge. So, when we talk about sectors, so in pharma, like many sectors are there, like preclinical, clinical, in silico drug designing. And then apart from this pharma, we have other scopes for pharma, for our science students, like environmental science, biomedical, microbiology, food technology. This is also upgrowing, plant biotech. Then again in pharma sector, if you see, management is also playing a very big role. So management again, like project management courses are there. So those courses are again like we have those sectors very upcoming. In my company, we were having only initially we were having only few project management employees, but now I can see it is growing, and then we have around 30 to 50 project management employees who is their job is just managing projects. So these are very new things which is upcoming now. So again, like project management, as I mentioned, again like we have QA, QC. So like that we have many sectors. So to answer your question, like first it is important to understand the drug discovery pipeline. So typical drug discovery pipeline, if you see, so in that we will be having pre-discovery. Then in pre-discovery, drug discovery comes where we have in silico drug designing and other stuffs. There we will be having 10,000 to 20,000 compounds. And then from those 10 to 20,000 compounds, we go to preclinical phase that drop down to 200 to 300 compounds. So almost 90% compounds will be taking down at this stage. And this drug discovery to preclinical, that whole together takes 3 to 6 years of span. Then after that, it comes into clinical trials where we have phase one, two, and three, and phase four. Phase four is nothing but post marketing surveillance and pharmacovigilance. That will be in phase four. That will be after FDA review and approvals. So in this, after these four phases, again scaling up and then marketing comes. So there also we have a scope. So I'll go through one by one, and then I'll tell you like where we have chances and where we can dig into, and then we can again look into opportunities. So like again scaling up, and then scaling after scaling up, it will be post marketing. So altogether, it is a kind of 10 years of journey, total drug discovery, if you see. So in this, if you see sector wise, so again, like in drug discovery, first, as I mentioned, where I am currently working, so where I am into preclinical drug discovery. So after in silico designing of drug, it goes to bioinformatics. So bioinformatics, where we go for target identification, target validation, then arrays will be there to shutting down things, and then the next will be preclinical evaluation, preclinical testing of the drugs. So in that we have in vitro and we have in vivo. In vitro means where we check drug using cell lines. So where we go for like cell viability assays, efficacy using cell lines, toxicity using cell lines, cell viability, MTTSS. So those techniques, if people know, they can get into jobs again, like in preclinical in vitro field. After preclinical, it comes preclinical in vitro. Preclinical in vivo comes where we have PK pharmacokinetics, then we have PK/PD pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Then we have efficacy evaluations, like your drug is how much effective, that we check using animal models. It could be rat, it could be mouse, guinea pigs, it could be hamster. So there are many animal models are there in market. Even small fishes also there, zebra fish and others. So after this in vivo, ex vivo comes where we have complete confirmation of whatever we are doing in vivo, like histology, histological analysis, immunohistochemistry, flow cytometries, imagings. Those are the ex vivo techniques which supports in vivo results. Then toxicity comes where we have drug safety evaluation, establishment of maximum tolerated dose. So those are the techniques. If people know, they can come into preclinical industry. After in vivo toxicity, it goes to IND filing, as I mentioned, and then it goes to clinics, clinical trials. So after clearing all the safety, pharmacology, and all. where we have phase one, two, three, and four. So in phase one, normally we check preclinical, whatever results we have in preclinical, we go into toxicity evaluation. So where with single administration to human or after repeated administration to the drug, how the safety pharmacology comes. That we check in clinical trial phase one. When we that is phase one. In phase one also we have many subsections like phase one A, one B. Then again, phase two comes where we have phase one B will be having dose escalations where we escalate the dose of the drug and then we check whether that what is the highest dose we can give to the patients. That comes in phase one B. Then phase two comes where we check again. Yes, that is also again a kind of safety clinical trials. So there again we check with more number of patients. Then goes to phase three where we check more number of patients and we see the efficacy and safety of the drug. Whether whatever drug we have tested in preclinical, whether that is still working in humans or not. And then after phase three, when we make sure that okay, no, this drug is effective as well as safe, to go to next phase. Then phase four comes and then it comes into market, after coming into market again, will be under pharmacovigilance for a few years to check in maximum population how it works. So this is the complete pipeline, typical pipeline. So whatever stages I said, in all the stages, science students, whether it is pharma or it is biotech or biomedical, they can choose their career, they can fit into that based on their skill set. So I hope I answered your question, or I
Yes,
deviated
yes,
from the
yes,
main
Mr.
topic.
Milind. Yes. So, what I can read that industry mindset is always towards the skill rather than a background, which of course is giving the knowledge. But to have the defined skill set is the baseline thing that is required to get into any industry, not alone in pharma, but yes, in different sectors is having different skill sets requirement. So that is the one line answer I can get from your explanation. So my next question is what is the preclinical pharma sector is looking in the aspirants, if we talk about biomedical graduates, that what they exactly want from person. No one can be they are actually going to enter as the fresher only. But if a fresher wants to enter the industry, then what is expected from a fresher to be a part in the preclinical pharma industry?
Yeah, so again, like whatever we have discussed in previous like whatever we were discussing now in preclinical, this one. So again I'll talk on that points only. So if we see, we elaborate this preclinical phase. So in that we'll be having in vitro, in vivo, ex vivo, and then we will be having toxicity studies. So like in pharmacology people read about efficacy, in toxicity people read about how we can evaluate the toxicity of the compound. So again, if graduates are having exposure of in vitro, like in vitro cultures. In vitro cultures mean like if they have exposure of working in a biosafety cabinet in sterile conditions, if they have worked on microbiological growths and all. So same kind of culturing techniques, if they have that skill set, they can come into in vitro department where they are there is a huge scope. Not even in industries, even in hospitals also there is a huge scope of in vitro techniques. So if graduates they know in vitro part very well, and if they are having control on cell revival, cell proliferation, then they can they can perform cell-based assays using small pipettes and in sterile, completely sterile conditions. Then certainly there is a big scope for them in vitro department. Coming to Invivo again, where we deal with animal studies and where there are animals involved. So we should people who want to come into Invivo, they should have uh, exposure and handling experience of animals. So that could be really difficult for a biotech or a science student if they don't have exposure of animal handling during their academics. Where in pharma sector, if you see B Farm and M Farm, there they have proper courses, and then they have exposure of animal handling and other stuffs where they already get that exposure, and then coming into industry in Vivo part is very easy for them. So that sector is there. Again, after that we have ex vivo. There again, that is completely like in vitro. So there also we expect people who should know some techniques like flow cytometry, instrumentation techniques. These are all instrumentation techniques: flow cytometry, immunohistochemistry, histology, and then imaging techniques, then HPLC and other instruments if they can handle, and they have exposure during their academics, then they can go into analytical division where HPLC, LCMS, those techniques if they know, these are all instrument-based techniques. So again, that knowledge of those techniques will be really helpful for them to get into those kind of industries where they're having these kind of jobs.
Okay, okay. So, of course, that they should learn, they should at least have the clear basics of the techniques and the handling of the instruments, animals, and other analytical techniques. So, that's what it is expected from the fresh aspirants, that if they want to get themselves into the pharma sector, they should have good practical hands-on experience with the different
Yeah,
departments.
at least they should know the basics of those techniques. They should have hands-on exposure. Like since we are in industry since many years, so we are not expecting that freshers should know each and everything. That innovation comes with time, but at least they should have exposure of those instruments. They should have exposure of those techniques. So if it is available in their courses, then that is very well and good taken. But if it is not there, then they can again they need to explore on those points, and based on their skill set, they can explore more, and then they can during that time where they have like internship or extracurricular activities when the university is offering or they are giving some industrial training. So those times they can utilize to learn those techniques where the industry is looking for, and then it will be really easy for them to get into industries. Yeah.
Commendable. That is really really exact thing the student should do to actually make them they want to transition from educated to the employable journey. So Mr. Milind, the next question is like, what is your opinion, that what are we doing well and what could we do even better, or what specific actions or initiatives we must take to bridge the gap between the current and the desired future state?
Okay, so again, I will be honest for this question, because see, if you see academics and industry, so there is a huge gap. I can see in India especially. If you see outside, so there will be a proper collaboration between academics and industry, but that is missing in India. Here, academics are having their own set of syllabus. I'm not saying that they are not doing good, but whatever they are teaching to the students, that may not be happening in industry. So that may be outdated. You can say in other words. I will rephrase this again in this different way. So whatever is happening in industry, so that is completely upgraded, because things industry is looking for their own this one growth, right? And then they always work for being a pharma company again, like it will be a kind of huge responsibility, like to launch always a like competitive and then affordable uh, cost of drug to the market. So again, it should be completely updated. And if you talk about academics, where we are reading things. Basics should be there, foundation should be always strong. I agree with that. But again, along with that foundation, if we are having some kind of industrial exposure to the students, if we can provide them some sort of small courses along with their regular curriculum, their regular syllabus, then that will be really, really helpful for them. So that gap I can see in India. If you see in European countries and all, they have mm, complete collaboration with industry and academia. So like, and innovation comes with always fresh brain. So like we can train, we can like recruit those brains during academic time only, and we can utilize those brains at that time, initial times only, and then we can do that. But that is again like mm, a big debatable topic. So I don't want to go into that. So yeah, so that's what, like we can give some skill set kind of curriculum, like as you know, like in case of in vitro and all, now new things are coming: asteroid, 3D culture, stem cells, CAR T cells. So those things are not if you see in syllabus, those things are missing. Those things are not there. Whatever we are reading, we are just reading basic science and techniques during our academics. But when we come into industry, then we come to know, and then we realize, oh my god, here things are completely advanced. So whatever we read, that is really useful, but it could be uh, more precise or more suitable if we can uh, have some exposure of these things, these techniques, whatever happening in case of industries, in industries. So
Yeah, that actually the entire nation and educationist panel is working on this setup, that how they can groom up the syllabus. And we at our university, at Showbiz University, we constantly work in this zone. We introduce new courses after discussing with the industry experts, of course. And because of this, very recently we have been accredited with lots of positions. Like Showbiz University has been ranked at number 41 at all over India level in the engineering sector. And if I say that, if in terms of the private universities also at all India level, Shobit University stands at the ranking of 38 number within our country. And if specifically because the university is based in the Delhi NCR North region, so among the North region, it has been ranked at the 13th place for 13th place for the engineering programs. It includes BTech Biomedical and BTech Biotechnology as well. So all these rankings have been given based upon, or analyzing, assessing several factors. And one of the factor is that we are constantly revising the codes, and we are constantly trying to upgrade it, so that we can train our students as close as possible to the industry. In that lieu also, in the same sequence, Mr. Villain, if I ask you that, will you be in the situation to mentor few of our brilliant students as an industry expert during their academic journey, so they can connect with you and you can help them identify their interest. We have MSc, for instance, in MSc Biomedical Sciences, we teach a lot of pharmacology, toxicology, forensic science, molecular oncology, and a list of the subjects that goes hand in hand with the pharmaceutical industry. I must say preclinical pharma industry, since you are an expert of that field. So you can help. Are you be then the position to help the students to identify their interest and to guide them sufficiently so that they can get themselves skilled outside classroom as well, and they can move ahead more step ahead in getting a job. So, like, would you be able to come with us as a mentor?
mentor, I don't know really like how much I would be able to do that, but yeah, certainly like whatever. mm, uh, like whatever experience I have, based on my experience, I would be always grateful if I can help our juniors or our graduate students to get into the industry. So that will be that is fine for me, and great to know that Soviet University is working well and they are gelling with industries, and then they are trying to come up with some courses which will be really good for the students. So yeah, certainly, non-monetarily it is yes from my side, but since I'm working for some pharma company, so it will be again I need to check into that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well said, Mr. Milind. Taking the session on, what do you think? If I have to ask you at this platform only, that what would be the suggested action plan for our future biomedical graduates? That how, at what stage they should take what?
Yeah. So, so again, as we know, like discovery and delivery, we can develop divide the whole sector into discovery and delivery. So that is completely on a student's choice and their will, like what they want to do. So, if you talk about discovery, so again here in Silco, preclinical, clinical, management, production, packaging, all those things comes in industry. Like again, management, production, packaging, QC, QA, regulatory, marketing and sales. So again, MR kind of work, medical representatives. So if you talk about delivery, so again, project management tools are there. So there we have a scope. Then chemist and druggist. Then in hospitals also we have a scope. So it depends completely on the student. I believe that they are the right person who can decide on their career based on their skill set. So if they are starting their career when they are in first semester or second semester, they will be having some courses. So as per syllabus, they will be having some subjects. So what I suggest, they can pick those subjects, read thoroughly, try to get the essence of that topic, and then based on that topic, they should start looking into they start googling and they start looking into industries. Okay, so this is the pharmacology subject I am reading now in this semester. So which all companies are working on pharmacology, which all companies are working on toxicology, which are companies are working on molecular biology. So like that, if they will start doing during their academics only from semester 1 to last semester, so they will be having a complete set of idea that okay, these are the subject I'm good into, and these are the sectors already available in market where I can go and I can give my this one services. So like that, they can do parallelly, hand to hand, like together along with their academics. Because if in academics, what happens, even I have done in that way. I used to study and then I used to just study for passing the subject, and then again when we used to go to next semester, we used to think, okay, now new syllabus and new subjects are there, so we used to forget everything. We used to come into new syllabus, and then we used to go into those subjects we used to read, and then again we used to forget. So like that people do normally during academics. So that each and that is not a good practice. Uh, since I have seen this industry and I have seen people, so now industries are very very particular. They pick based on skill set. They don't want to take risk now. So if somebody is having some skill set on any particular topic, any particular subject, then that will be always a upper hand to getting picked by industry. So in that way only they can decide and they can design their career during their complete academic session. So it is completely on them, and then it is completely on their skill set and their again their it is completely on their passion, like what they want to do. So
So
that's what I
that's a very very clear cut answer, Mr. Milind. That yes, when a student is studying a subject, apart from talking about the fundamentals and the experiment, he should actually go forward with a market research, that how, what is the scope of that particular subject in the market, and what are the job opportunities available with each of the subject, how it is going to help us, help the student to get a job, and if he is the person that is suitable for that particular thing or not, if he considers himself a man of that field, or else he has to move on to the next priority area as per the interest. That's a beautiful answer, and a very striked off, that the students must understand that they have to explore a lot, apart from the book, the real life evidences, and they have to do it right from the curriculum when they are studying the course. So the,
And
very
it is
thank.
again like we can correlate with this with the habit of the person. Suppose somebody is very good in talking, somebody is very good in marketing, then certainly that person should go into marketing, sales and marketing. If that person will come into industry, then he will not have that interest. So if somebody is very good in managing things and well organized, then that person should go into project management. So there they can manage things very well. If somebody is good into innovation and all, then that guy should go into discovery. So that again depends upon how, like what is their interest and what is their
The
passion. So
attitude, of course,
yeah,
the attitude and the
yeah,
attitude of
correct.
the
That
person,
is
I must
exactly.
say.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if I have to send my students to Syngene, then what are the training and employability opportunities there in your company?
Yeah. So, if you talk about job opportunities for freshers, so it will be there. So it comes into the career portal of the Syngene website. So there they display whenever there is a vacancy. So, but still, that is one way. But again, as I mentioned earlier, like they look into a skill set. So suppose some job opportunity is there, so they clearly define the job description and then they clearly write that, okay, I need this kind of a skill set. If somebody is very suitable for those kind of skill set, then it is very okay, and it is good. They can get absorbed into industry. But that is one way. Like if the job profile is suitable completely to the candidate, then they can get into. Another one more way is there. Biocon has started one Biocon Academy, so where they are giving industrial training. So I am not sure about the total duration for how many months and all they give. I think that is for 1 year, and so they can people can Google, students can Google and see that one. So they can go into website of Biocon Academy. They can explore that, and they can see like what all courses are they are offering, and then again like they can go into those courses, and after getting complete set of industrial training, in that training they give hands-on training. They take the students into industry, and then they show the industrial this one also, like how people are working into industry, and what will be the this one. They will get complete exposure of that. So that is a very good initiative by Biocon. They can try for this, and then from there, even placement is very good. If they reach vacancy, same kind of they will take into Biocon or Syngene, or even if they want to try outside, it will be really good for them to get into outside of the Biocon and Syngene. So that is about Syngene job for freshers. Apart from this, many companies are offering nowadays training programs for graduates like Eli Lilly and Pfizer. If people, students, they can Google and they can see their website. They always offer some training kind of programs, and then they can a student can opt for that. And it is always good to go through training programs rather than going as a fresher. That is really tough. Getting into industry as a fresher with no skill set is really tough.
Okay,
So these are the
okay.
options they can explore. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So we are delighted to hear that yes, companies are also coming up with their academies and training programs, and then students can get the real time experience within the company campus after if they get accommodated through that. So is it easy to get through that program? Do you have any idea, or or they have some
If I
selected
talk about
schools?
Biocon Academy, so again there they conduct some test. I'm not sure that need to be checked, but
Okay.
I believe they conduct some test, but that is not so tough. And there will be batches. So uh, I think every 6 months or 1 year they will be having batches, and then 90% almost they take from in Biocon or Syngene, they take from Biocon Academy. Only 10 to 12% will be left over. They get job very easily outside
Okay.
pharma companies also. It's very very easy.
Okay, okay, believe that's really like something new information we are also getting. Since this session is also about the entrepreneurship and government of India is supporting a lot. So what do you think that what opportunities are available for the entrepreneurs in preclinical pharma industry?
Yeah, so in preclinical pharma industry for entrepreneurship, again, I'll go back to my previous answer. Like again, that depends on the skill set. So whatever skill set they have, based on that skill set, people can think, students can think on getting into any startup. And as we all know, like for a startup, we need a lot of fun, then we need some innovative idea, and then we should have passionate about that. So if all the three things are there, then it is very very easy to start industry, and governments are really supporting, as you mentioned, like for startups there are some subsidies available. So again, big pharma companies are there. So what they can do, they can think for a small scale of industries like third party manufacturing kind of things, or a small scale industry that can support to big industry, pharma industry. So they can work on some kind of small instrument, or they can develop some kind of but that should be innovative. They can again some small kind of product whatever is required to big pharma companies, they are not manufacturing, so they can manufacture those kind of products, they can support to big pharma companies. So like that also is a big scope in that area. Like many companies are not having all techniques and all departments in place. So if somebody can support that big industry with one set of skill set, with one set of this one, then again that startup will work well, I guess.
Okay, okay. So for entrepreneurs, yes, the innovation, passion is the and investment. These are the three factors that
Yeah.
is needed, and in but scope are available for the entrepreneurs in the preclinical pharma industry as well. So I'm going to quickly move to the last question for this session, Mr. Milind. What message you desire to give to our biomedical graduate students?
Yeah, so I'll say just don't take much tension. This is academic year, and then during academic, we should not be more tense about career and all. So that will come with time anyway. So just follow your passion. Whatever you are doing, just do with complete mindful work should be there, and whatever you are doing, just be passionate for that. Uh, Definitely, whatever you want to achieve, that will come to you by own. So I don't think we should have some. There is no hard and fast road track for this. So everybody's growth is different. Everybody's success is completely unique and different. So just follow your dreams and just follow your passion. Don't take much tension at this time. Student life is a best life. So don't worry much about job and all. Whatever you are doing, that you do with passion. Like whatever you are studying now, it is your study phase, so you do that one with passion, and whatever you do, just do with mindful work. Yeah,
Yes,
certainly
is
things will come.
Instead of worrying, we they need to focus on accumulating as much of hands-on training and the skill sets, and
Yes.
they need to explore, because after training and gaining experience only they will be able to know that whether they would be like to do this for a longer hours of time in the industry or not. So again, I once again thank you, Mr. Millen, for the wonderful session, for giving answers, for giving us hope, and also to help the students that yes, they can also be as a biomedical graduates, they can have a good career in preclinical pharma industry as well. The way you have made your way, they will also be certainly able to do that, considering that they should work hard, be passionate, and they should be a learner of new techniques. So that is the closing statement. So I again thank you, Mr. Millen, for your time, and for your discussion, for your path that you have shown to the students. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful session, and thank you very much, and all the very best to all the students. Thank you.